The Trump family is one of the most polarizing dynasties in modern history. From Donald Trump's rise as a real estate mogul and reality TV star to his presidency, the Trump name is synonymous with wealth, power, and controversy. But what about the next generation? Donald Jr., Ivanka, Eric, Tiffany, and Barron Trump. These names carry the weight of one of the world's most famous families, but are they destined to continue their father's legacy? Or will they crumble under the pressure of his larger-than-life shadow? The Trump children have lived lives most of us can only imagine. Raised in luxury, educated at elite institutions, and thrust into the public eye from an early age, their every move has been scrutinized by the media. Ivanka Trump, the golden child, has been hailed as the polished face of the family, but her business ventures and political role have sparked fierce debates. Donald Trump Jr., often seen as his father's heir apparent, has embraced his role as a loyal lieutenant, but faced questions about his judgment and leadership. Meanwhile, Eric Trump has remained a quieter figure in the family business, while Tiffany Trump and Barron Trump stand somewhat apart from the main fold, leaving many wondering where they fit in this dynasty. What challenges do these heirs face as they navigate their father's polarizing legacy? Can they forge their own paths and rise above the controversies, or are they doomed to live in his shadow forever? As we unravel the stories of the Trump children, we'll explore their successes, failures, and the enormous weight of carrying the Trump name in a world that either idolizes or vilifies their family. The Trump family story is far from over, but for the children, the stakes couldn't be higher. The Trump family children are as varied as they are high-profile. At the forefront is Donald Trump Jr., born in 1977 to Donald and Ivanka Trump. Known for his outspoken nature, Donald Jr. has positioned himself as his father's most loyal defender, frequently appearing on conservative media and serving as a key figure in the Trump organization. Despite his public confidence, Donald Jr.'s personal life has been a roller coaster, including a contentious divorce from Vanessa Trump and public scrutiny of his involvement in controversial business dealings, such as the Trump Tower Moscow project. Ivanka Trump, born in 1981, has often been regarded as the family's crown jewel. A graduate of the Wharton School of Business, Ivanka carved out her own space in fashion and business before stepping into politics as a senior advisor during Donald Trump's presidency. Her polished demeanor and carefully curated image have earned her admiration, but her brand has also been criticized for ethical lapses and allegations of exploiting her family name. Eric Trump, born in 1984, has largely stayed behind the scenes, focusing on managing the Trump organization's vast real estate empire. While less polarizing than his siblings, Eric's role in the family business has still drawn criticism, particularly for conflicts of interest during his father's presidency. Tiffany Trump, born in 1993 to Donald and Marla Maples, has kept a lower profile. A graduate of Georgetown Law School, Tiffany appears less involved in the family business and political ventures, raising questions about her place in the Trump legacy. Lastly, there's Barron Trump, born in 2006, Donald's only child with Melania Trump. As the youngest Trump heir, Barron's future remains uncertain, but his rare public appearances have already drawn significant attention. Together, the Trump children represent different facets of their father's legacy, each navigating a unique path within a family defined by ambition, controversy, and scrutiny. Carrying the Trump name is both a privilege and a burden, and the Trump children face challenges that stem from their father's polarizing reputation. One of the biggest hurdles they face is public perception. Donald Trump's presidency was marked by intense controversy, and the children have been inextricably linked to his political and business decisions. For some, this association provides a built-in platform. For others, it's a lightning rod for criticism. For Donald Trump Jr., his loyalty to his father has made him a hero in conservative circles, but a target for his critics. His role in the 2016 Trump campaign, particularly the infamous Trump Tower meeting with Russian representatives, continues to haunt his reputation. Despite his efforts to champion the Trump brand, his close association with his father's political battles has limited his ability to establish a distinct identity. Ivanka Trump, often portrayed as the family's most poised figure, has faced backlash for her role as a senior advisor during Donald Trump's presidency. Her involvement in policies such as family separation at the U.S.-Mexico border and the ethical concerns surrounding her fashion brand have made her a divisive figure. Critics argue that her political ambitions have been undermined by her perceived inability to separate herself from her father's controversies. For Eric Trump, managing the Trump Organization has come with its own set of challenges, particularly accusations of using the presidency to boost the family business. Meanwhile, Tiffany Trump faces the challenge of remaining relevant in a family where visibility equals power. Her limited involvement in the Trump Organization and political ventures has led many to question her role in the dynasty. Finally, Barron Trump faces the daunting task of growing up in the public eye. As the youngest Trump, his future is largely unwritten, but the pressure to live up to the family name looms large. The Trump children must navigate a complex web of expectations, controversies, and opportunities, all while living under the shadow of their father's larger-than-life persona. The Trump children's rise to prominence can be traced back to their father's own ascent, but their individual moments in the spotlight vary. Donald Trump Jr. stepped into the public eye in the 2000s, taking on a leadership role in the Trump Organization alongside his father. However, his prominence skyrocketed during the 2016 presidential campaign, where he became a vocal advocate for his father and a controversial figure in his own right. Ivanka Trump began her journey to prominence in the early 2000s as a model and entrepreneur, launching her eponymous fashion line and appearing on The Apprentice, her father's reality TV show. Her star rose even higher during Donald Trump's presidency, where she took on a high-profile role as a senior advisor. Ivanka's influence was particularly evident during events like the G20 summit, where she represented the U.S. alongside world leaders. Eric Trump gained visibility in the family business during the same period, often appearing on The Apprentice and later assuming management duties within the Trump Organization. His public profile remained relatively subdued until the 2016 campaign, when he joined his siblings in advocating for their father's candidacy. Tiffany Trump rose to prominence more slowly, often described as the forgotten Trump. Her speech at the 2016 Republican National Convention marked one of her first major public appearances, signaling her intention to play a more active role in the family's narrative. For Barron Trump, prominence came by default during his father's presidency. His rare public appearances, such as during state dinners and inaugural ceremonies, have drawn intense media attention despite Melania Trump's efforts to shield him from the spotlight. Each Trump child's rise to prominence reflects their unique position within the family and the evolving nature of the Trump brand. The Trump children's legacy matters because it represents the future of one of the world's most recognizable and controversial dynasties. As heirs to the Trump empire, they hold the potential to shape its direction in the post-Donald Trump era. For Donald Trump Jr., the legacy is about maintaining the family's political and business influence. Often seen as his father's most natural successor, Donald Jr. has embraced a public persona that aligns closely with Trump Sr., but this approach comes with risks. His fiery rhetoric appeals to Trump's base, but alienates those outside it, raising questions about whether he can expand the brand's reach. Ivanka Trump's legacy lies in her ability to balance her roles as a businesswoman, political figure, and family representative. Her time in the White House may have solidified her status as a power player, but it also brought scrutiny. If she can carve out a distinct identity beyond her father's shadow, she may redefine the Trump legacy in a way that appeals to a broader audience. For Eric Trump, the challenge is ensuring the Trump Organization remains profitable and influential despite ongoing legal battles and controversies. Meanwhile, Tiffany Trump's legacy is less clear as she continues to navigate her place within a family dominated by larger-than-life figures. Finally, Barron Trump's legacy is unwritten, but as the youngest heir, he carries the weight of expectation to eventually contribute to the family's story. The Trump children's actions in the coming years will determine whether the family's influence endures or fades into history. Their legacy is about more than wealth. It's about the power of a name and the responsibility of carrying it forward. The Trump children are heirs to a legacy unlike any other, a legacy defined by wealth, power, and relentless controversy. As the world watches, they face the monumental task of forging their own paths while preserving their family's name. Donald Trump Jr. seems determined to follow in his father's footsteps, but his polarizing nature raises doubts about his ability to expand the family's influence. Ivanka Trump, once seen as the family's most polished figure, must navigate the aftermath of her time in the White House and decide whether her future lies in politics, business, or both. Eric Trump, the quiet manager, may lack the charisma of his siblings but plays a crucial role in the Trump organization's survival. Meanwhile, Tiffany Trump and Barron Trump represent the family's potential for reinvention, offering glimpses of a more subdued, less polarizing future. Ultimately, the Trump children's legacy will depend on their ability to adapt to a changing world and redefine their roles within it. Will they rise to the challenge and cement their place as great heirs, or will they falter under the weight of expectations and controversies? The story of the Trump family is far from over, but the next chapter rests in the hands of its heirs.